Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another Q&A. This is episode 102. I'm gonna start the Q&A with a poll that I just posted on my community section on my main channel. If you want to vote there, cool. If you want to vote here, cool. If you want to vote on both, good for you. It's about the PlayStation 5. Do you own a PS5? Simple yes, no. If you want to share why you do own one or why you don't, feel free. If you want to talk about the PS5, same deal. As always, I want to thank you for joining. I can't vote on my own poll. I own a PS5. Pretty sure it's going to be very divisive. Yeah, let's see what happens. It's been pretty divisive so far. 50-something, 40-something in the community section of my channel. Why am I asking these questions? Just for fun, because this morning I was wondering, I have a PS5 and I've only owned it for like 7 months. And I also believe that a lot of people don't have one because it's still very freaking expensive. So it's been almost 3.5 years since it came out, and it's still ridiculously expensive. So I want to know. I want to know if it's something you own already, or if you're gonna keep waiting or what. 11 votes so far. Yes, 82%. No, 18%. It's too soon to tell. But in the community section, it's pretty divisive. It's really weird. Happy Easter to you too, guys. What's up? What was a question? Can you not breathe? It's right there on the poll. That's the question. It was cheaper than building a computer. I got a few questions about the best units in Unicorn Overlord during the last stream. For some reason, you can't ask me that. There's a lot of them that are like, man, really good. It's like asking me what's my one favorite unit in Fire Emblem, in any Fire Emblem game, or in Suikoden. I mean, there's just so many, right? It's a game that is designed for the player to have a lot of units, so it will be near impossible for me to answer that question with just one person. I think the witches in the back, some of them are really broken. But you really need to train them properly. It's all about how you handle units in the game. I mean, one unit that is like really good for you can be really bad for someone else if they didn't train that unit properly, right? So I don't know. One of the best units, and I said this last time, is the protagonist himself, Elaine. I mean, you gotta train him because he is the main character after all, but he's one badass and mofo, man, I can tell you that. Alright. Someone got one first 3 weeks ago. When it came out. Oh, first 3 weeks when it came out. So many games you're trying to catch up with. Okay. Hey, Rosland. The only difference between PS4 and 5 is the loading times, the graphics, and no, the graphics are not the same in my opinion, no. And I've noticed the difference. It's my job to notice the difference. So, no man, the graphics are much better on PS5. Well, more like the performance and the resolution and the frame rate, right? I mean, the colors and the visuals, yeah, okay, in that department they are the same. But technically speaking, the PlayStation 5 looks much better. Anything looks much better on the PS5, and it shows. The difference is not that much though. But yeah, the loading times, of course. Okay, who do you think will do the character design for the future Dragon Quest games now that Toriyama is dead? Good question. I have no clue, to be honest. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if Toriyama managed to develop or to create a few characters for the game. Like I said before, it's a game that's been announced since last year, and they were probably working on it, so I don't think it's safe to say that they are on the final stages of it. I have no idea, but it's safe to say that it's at least in pre-production, you know, because the game was already announced. The game already has a subtitle, which is The Flames of Hope, I believe, something like that. Flame of Hope. And if they already have something like that, it's because they are in pre-production. It's safe to assume they are in pre-production of the game. I don't know if they're on production or post-production. I have no idea. Maybe the game was going to be announced in this year, maybe next year. Who knows when, man. We still have nothing on Dragon Quest III Remake. What's up with that? But this year, last year, Square Enix focused most of their attention on Final Fantasy XVI. This year it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but it was released at the beginning of March. So what are they gonna do for the next of the year, the remaining of the year? They also released a few spin-offs of Dragon Quest, precisely about Dragon Quest last year. So yeah, it's safe to assume we'll know something this year. I'm pretty confident we'll know something about it this year. As for the character design, hopefully Akira Toriyama managed to do something, like to create the main characters or something. We'll see what happens, and if he didn't, or if his work was incomplete, they're gonna have to do everything from scratch, and who knows what's gonna happen, man. All I know is that Dragon Quest XII, for a fact, is going to be very different. The developers themselves confirmed it. That was going to be a different game. So, I don't know, I think the future of Dragon Quest is extremely uncertain when it comes to main titles, and I'm not sure if I should be scared or excited. I guess I'm both at the same time. We'll see. Do enemies level up with you in Lunar Silver Star Harmony? I don't remember, man. I played that so long ago. I don't think so. And I didn't even know they did on the PS5 version, PS1 version, I mean. I didn't know that. That's weird. Huh. Well, I don't know, man. Look it up online, Google it, because right now I don't know, to be honest. I beat that game like about 12 years ago. Wow, it's been a long time, man. Most strategy RPGs are kind of repetitive. That's the whole point of the game. It's like action games. One could say action RPGs are also just as repetitive, because most of the time all you do is click buttons and, you know, mash your controller and fight, right? I mean, if real-time strategy RPGs are not for you, of course you're gonna feel like they're boring and repetitive. Well, check it out, 45 votes, and it's already like in the community section of my channel. Yes, 58, no, 41. See, it's just, I think a lot of people still don't own a PS5 because it's freaking expensive. That's the only reason. There's just no reason to invest on a PlayStation 5 and spend $400 to $500 on a console that doesn't really offer that much. Sure, it's starting to get more and more exclusives, the Final Fantasy games, Stellar Blade, for example, and it will continue to get more exclusives. Eventually, it's gonna force people to get it. Eventually, it's not gonna stop. It'll come to a point where people will have to buy a PlayStation 5 no matter what. And this same question in about a year, more or less, you know, will be like yes and no. Yes is gonna be really high and no is gonna be very low. For sure, it's gonna happen. Because I strongly believe that this is it for the PlayStation 4, guys. I think this year is going to be the last year for the PlayStation 4. I mean, its lifespan pretty much technically ended when the PlayStation 5 came out, but it was still really strong. During the first years of the PS5, the PS4 was still kind of strong. It still kind of is nowadays, but I think this is it. I think most companies are going to start heading into a different direction this year and say goodbye to the PlayStation 4. I think it's over. I think this is the last year of the PlayStation 4. Next year we might get a few, but 8 out of 10 games next year won't be released on the PlayStation 4. Something tells me that. This is it. And hopefully the PlayStation 5 will come down in price so more people can buy it, because $400 or $500 is still freaking ridiculous for a console. And there aren't that many reasons to buy one right now, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, say goodbye to the PS4, everybody. The end of the PlayStation 4, according to Erick, Landon RPG. Did you notice that some PS5 games are heading to PC? Some people are still playing on PC. Oh, PC will never die. It's been there since the 70s, man. People have been playing video games since the 70s and 80s on PC. That's never gonna end. That has no lifespan whatsoever. That's infinite. Do you think the PS5 Pro will be worth getting? Not really, because it's gonna be really expensive, and I think it's gonna be much better to get the PlayStation 5 Vanilla, the fat version. Now everybody's gonna do that because of the price. When the PlayStation 4 came out and the PS3 came out, prices weren't that huge, and people were like, okay, I spent 3-4 years with a vanilla fat PS4. Now I'm gonna get the Pro version. I can afford it. You know, it's gonna be like $300, right? Or $400, right? And that's what people did. But I think with the PS5, it's gonna be very tricky. Once the Pro version comes out, it's gonna be like $700-800. And PS5 fat is gonna start decreasing in price. And that's when I think a lot of people will start getting it. I think it's a good thing we're getting the PS5 Pro. Very good because of that reason. Because now people will be able to buy the fat version. There's nothing wrong with the fat version after all. PS6, PS7, PS8, PS9, PS10. Why does PlayStation feel like Final Fantasy? A PS5 is still $650 in Canadian. Oh, that's just stupid crazy. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather get PS6 than PS5 Pro unless there is a game which will convince me to get the Pro. Well, I think we're like at the very least 5 years away from a PlayStation 6. if it ever gets revealed. Your biggest complaint with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the open world activities. That's been a common complaint with open world games in the past few years. People are slowly starting to get tired of open world games. But most gamers still love open world games, which is why they are still being developed, and a lot of JRPG companies, the big studios at least, are developing their games that way. Everybody needs to have at least one open world JRPG nowadays, it seems. Do you still have a PS3? Yes, I do. I have a PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, PSP, PS Vita, every single Sony console except PS1. Got rid of my PS1 years ago because I got the PS2. I couldn't afford to keep both. And having the PS2 makes having PS1 kind of pointless because it's retrocompatible with every single PS1 game. I still would like to own a PS1 just out of nostalgia, but it's not a priority. I also have a Switch. I also have a Nintendo 3DS. And that's it. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Those are all currently my only video game systems. PS3 is a good PS1 HD player. Yeah, it is. How are you and your family going? We're fine, man. Thanks for asking. Everything's fine. Oh, look at that. 51% people don't have a PS5. Oh, 50-50. There's a tie. Oh, wow. It's getting there. What's your favorite 3DS RPG? That will be... I think... I can't choose Devil Survivor or Radiant Historia because they are pretty much ports. Originally released on Nintendo DS. So without those two, I'm left with Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. Definitely my number one. Did you ever own a Sega Saturn Dreamcast? I owned a couple of those systems when I had the store. Not me. Me personally, for my own personal use, no, I've never owned a single one of those. Saturn or Dreamcast, never. But I did have a few when I had the store. Obviously, I sold them. And that's how I got to play some Dreamcast games, especially RPGs. When will you mod your PS3? Probably never, because the version I have is very tricky to mod. It's so hard, it's kind of dangerous. I have the PS3 Super Slim, man, and I think it's the latest version, so I'm screwed. I don't think I'll be able to mod it. I think the next generation of consoles will be digital only. Really, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe the next one after that. Maybe the next one. Am I getting Stellar Blade in the future? Well, let me give you my first impressions of the game. Let me make my review based on the demo. My first impressions based on the demo. I streamed the game a couple of days ago. The stream is up there. It's gonna be public. It's gonna stay public. So check it out if you wanna have the complete experience. But my first impressions of the game is okay. Well, I was really anticipating this game ever since it was first announced as Project Eve all those years ago. What little they showed back then was impressive and was more than enough for me to get me hooked and interested. And since last year, since they announced the trailers, and then this year, and then a release date was announced, and then this demo, you know, it just, the hype was became real for me. I'm not that hyped for it because I know it's the type of game, and now that I played the demo, I've confirmed it. I know it's the type of game that I don't think I'll be able to easily get into because it seems to be on the difficult side of things. When it comes to turn-based RPGs, strategy RPGs, they can be tough as nails. I'll take them. I love them, right? But action games, I'm not really good at them, you know. And if you were there when I was playing the demo, you probably noticed, you know, I was sucking. I was doing so bad. I was pretty lame, you know. But the game is difficult. There's only two difficulty settings, normal and easy. But to me, that's pretty much normal and hard. I don't think players will need a hard mode for that game because on normal mode it's just really freaking difficult. Now the question is it Souls-like? And we were debating on that during the stream. No, I don't think so. It does have some Souls-like elements because the game kind of forces you to learn how to properly dodge at the exact moment, at the precise time, and guard and take advantage of your shield. But at the same time, it's not really Souls-like because, well, first and foremost, it's easier than most Souls-like games. Actually, I found this game to be easier than Code Vein. And also, there's not a leveling system in here. All you do is gain an experience, not exactly experience points, more like experience based on a percentage bar. And once you reach 100%, you earn one skill point that you can use to learn abilities and stuff like that. So the leveling system is not, I mean, there's no leveling system here at all whatsoever. So it's just different, man. And in terms of controls, the combat, yes, it's a challenging game, but how many action games or action RPGs have been there in the past that are like stupidly hard and no one's comparing them to Souls? It's just after Souls, after Dark Souls, after the success, now everybody compares every single difficult action RPG to Souls. It's inevitable. That's the impact of the Souls series in the gaming industry. That's the big impact they caused. But I wouldn't call this a Souls-like, to be honest. It didn't feel like one to me. Like, I see some small elements, like the difficulty, for example, or the like I mentioned, you know, the guarding, the precise evasion, stuff like that. But there's several action RPGs or action games, merely hack and slash games, that are a bit like that too nowadays. Not everything is a Souls-like. So to me, in my opinion, this is not a Souls-like at all. It just has some small influences from other JRPGs. Instead, this game gave me more vibes of Nier and Nier Automata, especially Nier Automata. Obviously because of the sexiness, because of the sexy outfits, the sexualization and all that jazz, you know, yes. But also in terms of the setting, I mean, this is a game that's where you play as androids, advanced androids, something like that, and there's like humanity's in trouble, and they're fighting for humanity, and like, you see where I'm going, right? It's like a very similar plot to Nier Automata. But then again, there's been hundreds, or if not thousands of plots like that in video games, in books, in movies, like robots, you know, or androids or something like that fighting for humanity, or a post-apocalyptic setting, you know, a science fiction futuristic universe, you know, come on, right? Yeah, but Nier Automata kind of produced that influence of the hack and slash with super beautiful, overly gorgeous and sexy androids, and now Stellar Blade is the same, right? So it's going to be inevitably compared to Nier Automata a lot, and a little bit to the Souls-like series. But to me, this game, and I said this in the stream, is its own game. I did feel during that hour and a half where I played it that the game has its own identity, that the game is, it's hard to compare to just one game. It's going to be compared to a lot of games, and I really believe it has its own identity, and it's a really good game. I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was way too hard, and I kept playing on normal, dying over and over again with the bosses or with some regular enemies even. But the game is very forgiving. You know, you die and it leaves you like really, really extremely close to the battle where you died, right? Or if you die at the boss, you can just try over and over again. You just revive, right? And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost points or anything or money. You know, nothing of the sort. You just revive, and that's it. So it's a bit forgiving because of that. Thankfully, there's an easy mode, and I think a lot of people are going to play this game on easy because it's kind of technical. It's not your average hack and slash. You won't just be button mashing your controller and winning. No, it's a very technical game. Not as technical as the Souls games, but very technical nonetheless. You need to be paying attention a lot. Eve, the main character, is on the weak side of things, made on purpose to increase the difficulty in the challenge. But yeah, she's gets a few hits and she's dead. In Souls, you get like 2-3 hits and you're dead. So once again, it's not really like a Souls game. In here, you do get an HP bar and you get 3 potions, and yeah, you know, the game gives you some leeway, right? So you'll be able to, little by little, learn how to properly execute certain skills, or how to evade or dodge in time, how to backstab your enemies by dodging when they're about to execute a powerful attack, you know. I liked all of that. So, what song is this? Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles X? Wow, okay. Just wanted to check that. Yeah, I saw singing, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get a copyright claim. No, I don't think this game has copyright claims yet. Anyway, so I was saying that, yeah, the combat is awesome, but it's very technical. I feel like I'm gonna play, if I get this game, I'm gonna play it on easy, definitely, because I feel the easy mode is normal mode. It's not easy at all. I played on easy on the demo, and wow, I was still getting my ass kicked. I didn't die, thankfully. I pulled through, but it was still very challenging. So my advice is to everybody, don't be afraid to play this game on easy. Although I believe they should have called these modes normal and hard, no easy mode. And then people will be more comfortable playing on normal, right? So yeah, easy mode to me personally is the equivalent of the normal mode, because this is a very challenging game. There's no point in discussing the sexiness. Of course, it's one of the highlights of the game. It is made that way on purpose, you know, to pretty much offer... how can I explain this without sounding kinky or pervy? You know what I mean, right? The game's a waifu game, okay? Like Nier Automata. You got these overly, extremely gorgeous android girls in super tight and sexy outfits. So yeah, of course, that's the appeal of the game. What else? The graphics are freaking beautiful and gorgeous. No, I didn't detect a single resolution or frame rate issue. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see when the final release comes out in less than a month. But yeah, graphically speaking, both in visuals, in terms of visuals and in terms of performance, it looks freaking amazing and beautiful and mind-blowing. Though, I'd like to point out that the first mission, well, not the first mission, okay, the second mission, like the main mission, after the prologue mission is over, the scenery and the layout was kind of dark, and it was kind of difficult to notice some of the enemies, which led me to believe that, to conclude that the game has a lot of horror elements. There's a lot of blood and violence and gore and stuff like that, but the enemy design, man, pay attention at the enemy design, and it's like something out of Silent Hill, man. I'm serious. The enemy's design was creepy as hell, but I love it. I freaking love it. I felt like I was playing Nier Automata meets Silent Hill, man. In terms of enemy design, it's just wow. Some horror elements are there, and I like that. I dig that. What else? The exploration wasn't that... someone told me during the stream that the game is meant to be a bit of an open world game. I didn't get the feeling of an open world in this game. It was pretty linear, and there wasn't a lot of room for exploration. It's not like Sandland, where you could just, you know, explore wherever you want for completely free. No, no way. But maybe after the mission in the demo, you get to experience some kind of open world. We'll just have to wait and see, right? We'll see what happens. But I didn't get any open world vibes from this game at all whatsoever. And the story, what little we saw, was pretty interesting, you know. I love it's a generic type of plot, you know, that the androids come to Earth and trying to fight for humanity because the world has gone to hell. It's a post-apocalyptic setting. Yeah, it's been overused, but I love that kind of setting, you know. I love post-apocalyptic stories, so this is my kind of jam. And I can't wait. It seemed very interesting, the psychological issues the character will have because of something that happens at the beginning of the game, which also happens in the demo. Was pretty interesting, was pretty intense. So, yeah, I think this game is going to have a very good story. I don't know yet, maybe it will suck later on, but from what I saw, the story and the narrative and the characters themselves looked very interesting, pretty multidimensional, and yeah, I'm happy because of that. So, the last thing I want to say is the music. Keiichi Okabe worked on it, worked on some of the things. He also made the music for the Nier games, and it shows. You listen to the soundtrack and you're like, this is so Nier. So that's why I think this game is going to be heavily compared to the Nier games than other action RPGs like the Souls games. I don't think so, but who knows. It is an extremely challenging game, man. So the music is great, it's fantastic, I love it. It might be very worth listening to outside of the game. And that's it. That's all I have to say. Those are my first impressions. I think it's a really good game. Will I get it? No, because it's an exclusive on the PlayStation 5. That means it's going to be extremely expensive, and I'm not going to spend my money on that. So I'm just going to wait for the price to drop a bit, and then I'll get it. And then I'll play it, and I'll probably review it or do something about it. I'll talk about it in this channel, right? But yeah, I do have plans to get that game at some point. I'm excited for it, and I strongly recommend this demo. It offers not too much, but it offers enough to convince you that the game is freaking awesome. Wow, 113 votes. Do you own a PS5? Yes, 44%. No, 56%. That means more than half of the world is not getting Stellar Blade or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Do you plan to get Sandland? Did you like the demo? I just recorded my first impressions of it last Sunday, and I will upload them probably tomorrow. So you're just gonna have to wait, man. I did like the demo, but it wasn't like I'm not really that excited for it. But I had a lot to say about the demo, so yeah. Have you played any of the Sword and Fairy game series? No, I don't think so. That's a Chinese IP, if I'm not mistaken, of RPGs that's been there for many years. Haven't played a single one of them. I still find it hard to believe that PS5 exists. Why? Could you share why? What's your favorite Atlus PS2 game? You mean published by Atlus or developed by Atlus? Because developed by Atlus, there's just Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. So with that in mind, it's easy. Persona 3. That motherfucker. That's my favorite Atlus game. That's my favorite Atlus game, developed by Atlus. But there's a lot of games that were published by Atlus USA, but they weren't developed by them. They just published them. Okay? That's another thing, like the remasters and remake topic. Like a lot of people can't seem to differentiate between a publisher and a developer. I don't blame you, you know, they aren't that known, easily explainable terms, you know. But a publisher is just something like, I don't know, like Hollywood, right? Like Paramount Pictures, like, I don't know, any Quentin Tarantino film, you know, the film was made by Quentin Tarantino, but he doesn't publish the movie. A studio does, right? It's not too hard. So yeah, my favorite game published by Atlus but not developed by Atlus. Oof, I think it's gonna have to be Eternal Poison. Yeah, that was a game developed by Flight Plan. They were the original developers of the Summon Night series. It's a defunct company, it no longer exists. But yeah, Eternal Poison is my favorite Atlus game, not developed by them, but developed and published by Atlus. I never confused the two, thanks. Well, you're welcome. A lot of people still do. But yeah. Glad you know how to differentiate them. I want to get a PS5 soon. Did you play Dragon's Dogma? The second one? No, I only played the first one. For PS2 or of all games? No, Lynn Rowan was asking about my favorite PS2 Atlus game. Or RPG. Right? So if you want to know my favorite Atlus JRPG of all time, that will be probably Devil Survivor. Yeah. So let me think, man. Let me think. I think it's Devil Survivor. And then Persona 3. Yeah. Devil Survivor. Devil fucking Survivor. Eager to see another Valkyrie Profile game. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, man. I think Valkyrie Profile is officially dead. Square Enix killed it. But hopefully there'll enough negative feedback about Valkyrie Elysium was sent to Square Enix, to the CEOs, to the people in charge of that series, of that IP, and they'll notice that people want Valkyrie fucking Profile developed by fucking Tri-Ace and not by this new studio Soleil or whatever. You know, we don't want Devil May Cry. God damn it, we want an original turn-based RPG like the first two games, right? That's what we want. But they don't give a shit. Did you ever flash a console firmware or put a mod chip in one? I flashed my PSP a long time ago, and I used to offer that service when I had the store. It was so easy to hack the PSP that, you know, I hacked my own. I didn't hack my 3DS because my model was kind of tricky, so I paid someone to do it, but it seemed kind of on the easy side as well. But yeah, I'm not really big into hacking stuff, you know, it's... I am a bit of an idiot when it comes to tech stuff and hacking stuff and shit. 130 votes and more. Most people do not have a PlayStation 5. Are world building and lore the same thing? If not, would you say that the SMT franchise has great lore? Didn't you ask the same question last stream? And I turned that question into a video for my main channel, actually. What's your opinion on... Interesting question. What's your opinion on people who experience games through YouTube? You mean like watching Let's Plays, right? Do you think there's ever a point where it's acceptable to do so? I don't care for acceptable or not. I think that's up to people, you know. I don't really give a shit if something is acceptable or not. You know me, I hate politics. Acceptable or not, that's up to you to decide, man. I'm more about, is it the equivalent of playing the game yourself? No, it is not. Right? But at the very least, you will be knowledgeable about the story. You won't experience the game with your own two hands, with the controller in hand. But you will experience the story, the music, the graphics, a lot of things. I mean, it's like watching a movie. You just sit down and watch the story unfold. And by watching a movie, you also listen to the music. You also look at the backgrounds and the photography and the acting and everything, right? The script itself. So it's the same. But no, video games are meant to be played. So it's not the same, in my opinion. If people want to do that, up to them. You know, I would rather play the game. I don't watch streaming. Even though I am a streamer myself, and I've done several full playthroughs of several JRPGs. Is 8, Is Origin, Cosmic Star Heroine, Dragon's Crown, I remember. What else? Like Fire Emblem 7. I mean, Fire Emblem... Yeah, 7. The Blazing Blade. What else did I do? I didn't complete my Tales of Berseria playthrough or my Suikoden 2 playthrough, but it was there. So yeah, I've done many. But believe it or not, I don't watch streamers. I don't. I'd rather play the game by myself. You know, and I don't even watch them like playing the games like for hours. Like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this streamer play the first 2 hours of the game. No, I don't even do that. Not even the first half hour. You know, I'd rather, you know, experience the game. Because I think video games are meant to be played, not watched. But I don't have a problem. It's not like I want to shit on people and say, oh, it's wrong to do that. It's unacceptable, you know? No, to each their own, I guess. I mean, it would be fucking hypocritical to say that when I am a streamer myself. Don't you think? So the fact that I stream games and I want people to watch me play these games, means that I actually support people watching games instead of playing them. But I always recommend people playing the games, even if they watch the whole playthrough. I always recommend people play the game. I'm not gonna waste anybody's time streaming a full game that it's actually bad or that I can't recommend. I might stream just the first 2 hours or the first hour just to make fun of it, just to see how bad it is, you know. But yeah, the best thing to do is play the games yourself. Can't believe it's been 35 minutes and I haven't received a single donation. All the attention is going to the poll. I don't think this is gonna get better, you know. In fact, it's getting worse. No is getting up there, and yes is decreasing. Wow. Okay. There you go, Sony. Yeah, Sony isn't watching this, but they know. They know half of the world, half of the gaming world, half of the gamers in planet Earth don't have a PS5. So they must know something's wrong. They have to do something about it. They have to decrease the fucking price, for fuck's sake. There's your answer. Seriously? Right? 140 votes. I don't need a PS5. Did you finish Persona 3 Reload? Yeah, and I recorded a whole podcast. Check it out. It's on my main channel. Did you like the story in 13 Sentinels? Yes, I did. Pretty damn good. One of the best stories of its year. I think it came out in 2020, right? That's a 2020 JRPG. One of the best stories of that year. What JRPG affected you emotionally, like Chrono Cross? That's the only one that has affected me emotionally. Others have made me cry. Have had moments where I felt emotionally connected with the characters, but it didn't wreck me that much. You know, it wasn't like, man, this game. No, Chrono Cross is the only game that's gotten that far. The one that comes as a close second is Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria. Almost on the same emotional level, but not really. There hasn't been anything like Chrono Cross. Thank you very much, Nemo Propaganda. I got you, bro. Thanks, man. Enjoy some pizza on me. Yeah! Please just remind everyone, the best series ever is Star Ocean. That's your favorite JRPG series ever? Yeah, I kind of figured it was. It's a great series. I'm a big fan too. But no, the best series out there, the best JRPG series of all time, period, shut the fuck up, is Hyper Dimension Neptunia. Period, man. Undebatable, undeniable. Get the fuck out of here if you disagree. I'm gonna make a new poll called, do you think Time and Eternity should be its own series? I don't like Time and Eternity. I don't like Neptunia. I don't like Neptunia, but I've only played like 3 games. And I didn't like them. Three games was more than enough for me to say, no, I don't like this series. Like Etrian Odyssey, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. But yeah, Neptunia, my problem with Neptunia is that I don't think the games are legitimately good. Like Etrian Odyssey, in my opinion, is legit. Right? I don't like it, but it's legit. It's like Pokemon. But Hyper Dimension Neptunia is like, it leaves a lot to be desired. There's a lot of room for criticism. A lot of things that are like technically wrong with it. Technically in terms of gameplay and performance, you know. The fact that I don't like the main characters being these freaking middle school lollies, you know, that's just me, right? But the games just aren't that good. No, they aren't that good, they aren't that fun. There's a crap ton of shitty dialogue in there, and if you're not into the comedy of those games, you're not gonna like it, you know. It's just the dialogue is kind of like, it's like Earthbound. Sorry for comparing Earthbound to Hyper Dimension Neptunia, you know, but it's the same. The Earthbound is a game or a series, Mother is a series with a specific type of humor, and if you can't get into it, it's not for you, right? Hyper Dimension Neptunia is the same. I thought the idea was cool, like every girl represents a console, stuff like that, but when I played the games, I was like, I'm not laughing, man, I don't find it funny. And well, the fan service is fine, but I wish you could focus instead of the girls transform into the big outfits, you know, instead of just fighting with the little lollies, you know. I just didn't find any appeal whatsoever in that. So not really a fan of Neptunia, but I don't think they're bad games. I just don't think a single one of them is like great. Like, oh my god, this is a great game. No. Somewhat donated, thanks Inane Dreams. Sorry if you've talked about it elsewhere. Have you played SMT Soul Hackers? Yes, I did. I own the 3DS version. I finished it. Wonderful game. One of the very few... Damn, how many dungeon crawlers in first person have I ever finished? I think just that one and Persona Q. The first one, not the second one. The second one I ditched it because, you know what, I just can't get into dungeon crawlers in first person. I know I can recommend them and properly review them, even if I don't finish them. Because I know there's a lot of fans out there and I see the good in them. Taking my example of Neptunia that I was just mentioning, there's a lot of good things to say about several dungeon crawlers in first person, right? But they're not for me. Most of them are not for me. But Soul Hackers is an exception. I did play it. I did love it. And honestly, I think it's one of the 10 best Megami Tensei games. If not top 5, man. Leaving Persona aside, of course. Leaving Persona aside, we got the Devil Survivor games, SMT 3 Nocturne, SMT 4 and Apocalypse, and 5 and Soul Hackers. Okay, maybe Soul Hackers wouldn't be top 5 for me. But okay, definitely top 10, right? It's a really good game. The second one is also a really good game. I always say this, try it out for yourself. It got a lot of shit and criticism. Just forget about that, play it with an open mind, expect the worst, and you'll appreciate it, you'll like it. Soul Hackers 2 is a really good game. In fact, in terms of gameplay, I prefer Soul Hackers 2 because it's less punishing. It's it's more appealing to me because it's in third person and there are no random encounters. Whereas in the original Soul Hackers, it's a dungeon crawler in first person, not my genre, and random encounters and brutal spikes in there. So there you go. But I think in terms of story and characters, Soul Hackers 1 is better than the second one. Also in music. The music in the second game was better, created by Keiichi, the guy from Nier Automata and Nier Replicant. But the first one also has better soundtrack. So the first one has better soundtrack and story and characters. The second one has better gameplay and battle mechanics and exploration. Even though the exploration is not that great in Soul Hackers 2. It is great in the regular dungeons and areas, I love it. But then there's the soul space or whatever, I forget the name of every character. That's kind of boring, to be honest. It got a lot of criticism because of that. Reload DLC comes out in fall, right? I don't know, isn't it out yet? Do you mean The Answer, right? Isn't it out? The Answer DLC or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really care about DLCs, as you've probably noticed throughout the years. Especially if you have to pay for them. Even the ones that are free, I take forever, you know? I remember when the Diofield Chronicle got a DLC, which is really recommended, by the way, completely free, and I missed it. And months later, someone told me, people told me, oh, there's a DLC and it's free. Oh, and I downloaded the DLC and it was fucking awesome on the Diofield Chronicle, but it was free. Paid DLCs, I don't support them. But let me tell you one thing about The Answer. The Answer is a game. It's a video game. It's not just an extra episode that's gonna be like 5 hours long. No, man. The Answer is like a 30-hour long game. It's its own game. So I'm not gonna get it, but if you're planning on getting it and you want to get your money's worth, if you want to feel like you're paying for an actual game, you are. Are there any animes you want made into JRPGs? Yeah, I've made a video about that. I did a video about that a long time ago. I think I also made one on my second channel, just real quick because I've answered that question many times before. Claymore is one of my favorite anime series of all time, and I would love for it to get an action RPG. I don't think it's gonna be... Because of the type of anime series it is, I don't think a turn-based RPG will work, much less a strategy RPG. A hack-and-slash action RPG will be great, based on Claymore. One of my favorite anime series of all time is Ergo Proxy. Somehow I don't think it will work as a regular RPG. Maybe one of those hybrid. Again, an action RPG kind of game, and I will play the fuck out of it. But there's several of them, you know. I'd love to get a proper action RPG based on Ghost in the Shell, on Berserk, because we've only gotten like Musou games or hack and slash games, or just regular adventure games like or third-person shooter games like Ghost in the Shell, you know, but making them into actual RPGs, that would be great. Yeah, there's a shit ton of anime series, man. Darker Than Black is one of them. What else? Maybe, no, not Vinland Saga. No, I don't think that's gonna work, but maybe it could work somehow. It's just the first season of Vinland Saga, there's a lot of action in it, but the second season is more drama, so I don't know how they will be able to pull that off. I don't know how Vinland Saga will work as an RPG. There's a lot of anime series, but it's Japan. They can figure it out. They always figure it out. They pull RPGs out of their asses based on something out of their asses all the time, right? They can figure it out. Does the Trails franchise have philosophical themes like the Mega 10 games do? Not on that level, but yes, it does. But definitely not on that level, man. I'm a designer and I've been following you for years. I was thinking about doing a full stream channel overhaul for free. What do you think? Where is the best place to contact you? Why? What are you trying to do? I don't understand. Why would you want to reach out to me for that? If you want to do doing a full stream overhaul, a full stream channel overhaul for free, I'm confused. I don't know what you're trying to do. And the only way to, well, either way, the only way to contact me is on my email. Go to my channel, click on my name, or in the About section, and there's my email. There's an email in there. You can contact me there. But I don't understand what you're trying to do. Mount and Blade Viking Conquest is pretty much Vinland Saga the RPG. Really? I didn't know about that game. Sounds like one of those many PC games. I was disappointed with One Piece Odyssey. Way too easy, no challenge at all. Graphics and story were okay. I only played the demo, man. I liked the demo. I really liked it, even though I don't care about One Piece at all. I really like the demo, but you know, I don't have a strong opinion on it. And I played last year. I made a video called 7 turn-based RPGs I want to talk about. Check it out. I kind of reviewed the demo in that video. What? There's a, what? What's the name of the game? Linda? Linda 3 again? Has English translation. It's like Suikoden. Has freaky stuff. Okay. Linda 3 again? Wow. What the hell is that, man? I gotta know now. Like Linda 3. Fucking names they come up with. Linda 3 again. Wow, it is real. Oh my god. It's on the PS1. Oh, it's like Linda Cube again. Okay. Stylized as 3. Okay, Linda Cube again. Let me check out some images. Wow, okay, this looks freaking weird, man. Okay. This looks freaking weird. Okay. I've seen some screenshots. Huh. Wow, okay. I can't believe the insane amount of RPGs. Oh, the battle system is like in first person, like in Dragon Quest, okay. Enemies are in front of you and you can't see your characters, only their menus. Alright. Yeah, looks interesting, man. There's some freaky stuff I'm seeing right now, so... Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I'll consider it. Have you played East Nordics? No, I haven't. I don't know Japanese, so I see no point in playing it. No point in playing it, I mean. So, no, I haven't played it. I'm gonna wait for the official localization this year. Is NIS America going to do a collector's edition for East Nordic? Probably. They always do for almost every single game in existence they release. Even the ones that are obscure, like Legend of Legacy. I'm pretty sure they're going to release something. They don't do it for every game, though, but for most of their games. What's your opinion on the Euden Chronicle demo? There's no demo yet. There's no demo, is there? Is there a demo? I played the beta version because the company 505 Games, the publisher, sent me a beta version, but that was supposed to be exclusive for reviewers. Okay, you guys didn't play it, didn't get to play that version. Unless you were... there was also like a small demo version for the for the people who paid a certain amount of money on the Kickstarter 4 years ago. That's it, but like a public... Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, I was like, oh, there's a demo already? Goodbye everybody, I'm gonna play it. But yeah, if the demo is gonna be the first chapter of the game, I already played it. So anyway, if you wanna know my opinion, I made a whole video based on it. So check it out. Do you think there's a chance to see Grandia 3 remaster? So I've been playing Grandia 1 and 2 HD remasters lately, both of them. The publisher sent me a review code for the collection. It got ported to the PlayStation 5, 4, and Xbox Series apparently after 5 years. And I streamed both of them on my Twitch channel. There's a link to my channel, to my Twitch channel in the description. I streamed them both recently. I streamed Grandia 2 last night there. And but before I answer your question, I do have some things to say about the remasters. But I haven't decided if I'm gonna do it on my second channel or... haven't decided yet. But anyway, there is a chance of seeing Grandia 3 remastered one day. But it's the sole owner of the rights is Square Enix. Grandia 1 and 2. Gung Ho Online. Gung Ho Entertainment or whatever. They are also... they have a part of the rights to them. That's why Grandia 1 and 2 were remastered. Grandia 3, I think, is exclusive of Square Enix. That's a Square Enix exclusive, so I don't know what's gonna happen, man. But hopefully we'll see it. I would love to see Grandia 3 remastered. In terms of graphics and gameplay and battle mechanics, that's my favorite Grandia game. Is Suikoden good for a good game? I remember you talked about it in the past. I might get it next week at my local game shop on Tuesday. Yes, it's very good, just expect the worst. It is the worst in the series, but it's still a very good game. The thing that kind of kills it is the exploration at sea. Because there's random encounters, and it's bare bones and it's bland and boring. But if you can overlook that, you're in for a treat. It is a very good game. It's still a very good game. Not the best Suikoden, it's the worst, but it's still good. Do you like cats? You have 9 cats and 1 dog? What the hell, man? That's just... wow. I mean, that's crazy. I do like cats, but I can't have them because I'm allergic to them. Unfortunately, I had a cat with I was living with my brother about 15 years ago. Wow, I can't believe it's been 15, like 16 years since that. Holy shit. We had a cat, and yeah, I was allergic as fuck because of the hair. Yeah. So I do like cats and dogs, you know, but I don't have a cat. Favorite console of all time, the PlayStation 2. What's your overall opinion of Grand Blue Fantasy? What's your overall opinion on Grand Blue Fantasy Relink? I made a review. Check it out. Grandia 3 is underrated. Yes, it is. Very. One of the most underrated JRPGs ever. Grandia 2 still has the best story and characters, in my opinion. Grandia 2. I don't think the story's bad in Grandia 3. And I don't think they really fucked it up. Come on, man. I thought Suikoden 5 was the worst? No, that's my favorite, man. You know, which Suikoden is the worst or the best is up to you, man. You decide, you play them all and decide which one is the worst or the best, okay? You. 5 is my personal favorite. Should I end the poll? I think it's pretty obvious that most people, not most people, but a little bit more than half of the world, based on 180 votes, don't have a PS5. Can you tell me the closest game to Triangle Strategy in your opinion? Wow. Okay, so I think I'm going to recommend Tactics Ogre. There's a version called Reborn, which is the best version of it to play on the PlayStation 4, Switch, and Windows. That's a really close, as close as it gets, man. But there's no job system in Triangle Strategy. Triangle Strategy is a class system. You can't change jobs, but you can just upgrade your class and class up and evolve and stuff like that, okay? That's the only difference. Everything else is pretty similar. Tactics Ogre Reborn. I mean, like modern strategy RPGs, right? Because there aren't that many. There's a lot of them in the past, though. You might want to check out some of the Spectral games. Spectral Souls is also kind of similar, and I really recommend it. It's also Cardia. Vandal Hearts, another really good one that's kind of similar to Triangle Strategy. Although in Vandal Hearts there is no class or job system, it's just a regular grid-based strategy RPG. Check out Onimusha Tactics on the Game Boy Advance, pretty similar too. Or just check out Final Fantasy Tactics. You just bought a physical copy of The Reaper's Thorn from Amazon. That's awesome, man. I hope you enjoy the book. Really hope you enjoy it. Are you aware of the current Gamergate 2.0 controversy? No. Have you played Harvestella? Nope, not interested on it. The PS5 with no disk drive, what are you guys... Okay. Have you ever played Cthulhu Saves Christmas? Yes, and I've reviewed the game a couple of times in the past. It's there fully reviewed in one of my 5 RPGs I need to talk about. I've done a bunch of videos with that title. The second video is where I reviewed it. Check it out. It's a really good game. Did you finish Persona 3 Reload? Yeah! I made an entire podcast based on it. It's just most of you weren't notified because it's a podcast. There's not a lot of interest in podcasts. YouTube is not a good place for full podcast. I know that. Okay? But if you want to support the podcast, and if you want me to make more podcast episodes like this, I'm planning on doing once a month, based on one game alone. Long podcast, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on the game. There's a link to my Patreon in the description so you can support it and fund this podcast. This podcast needs funding, because then again, it's something I want to do, but most people don't really care about podcasts. That's okay, I understand that. And therefore, it's barely going to get any views and revenue, and every single one of them is going to be a massive failure in terms of that. So I just need a little bit of funding for these episodes. If you listen to the Persona 3 podcast that I uploaded this week, if you liked it and you want more episodes like that, just go to Patreon and fund it. Any amount of money is funding it. Any amount of it. So definitely check it out. No, it was an hour and a half long. It wasn't 2 hours long. Come on, man, don't exaggerate. It's 1 hour and 28 minutes long. It's a podcast. You can watch it. It's also made in the form of a video. If you want to watch it on your TV or your laptop or your phone, I wouldn't recommend doing it on your phone because it's a 1 hour and 28 minutes long, but it's okay. It's your eyes. On your computer, on your laptop, you can do that on your TV, watch the whole video. There's gameplay footage. There's a crap ton of screenshots though. But there's a lot of gameplay footage too if you want to watch it. But it's mostly meant to be listened to, okay? And so will the next episodes, It's first a podcast and then a video. A podcast first, a video second, okay? Keep that in mind, but it's still watchable. But yeah, it's an hour and a half. And the entire episode is dedicated to Persona 3 Reload. To this fucking beauty. That. Podcasts are only fun if there are 2 people talking. Well, that's just your opinion, There's plenty of podcasts out there with just one person talking, and people like them. So it depends. What do you think of Visions of Mana from what we've seen so far? It looks good. It looks interesting. It looks cute. I'm interested. I dig it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not the biggest Mana fan, but I'll check it out. The only reason I got a PS5 is because I found a good deal and wanted to upgrade my old PS4. Okay. The only reason I got a PS5 is because this fan, Alex Tokash, sent money for it. Yeah, you there, Alex? Thanks again for the PS5, man. That was 7 months ago. I wouldn't have a PS5 if it wasn't for that, to be honest. I'm with the majority here on the poll. There's just no reason to have one. But then again, we're starting to see more and more exclusives, more and more JRPG exclusives, more games that are like Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, no PS5, no gain. No pain, no gain. I'm telling you people, this is the last year of the PlayStation 4. We might still get a few games next year on PS4, but this is it. So only having one person keeps things focused. See, Terry? Thanks, Terry. Thank you, man. No, to each their own. People like different things. If you like podcasts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, everybody's got a different opinion, Me, personally, I think I like both. I'm fine either way, I can listen to a podcast with just one person talking or with 2 people talking. But I will say this. I don't like it when there's more than 3 people. It gets so chaotic. It's just unnerving, very distracting, and it's just kind of stressful for me. 2 people max, 3 max, 3 people max, and that's a stretch. I prefer podcasts with just 1 or 2 people. That's it. That's just my personal preference, though. Are you a fan of the way YouTube is now? Am I a fan of how YouTube is now? Oh, you mean the website that's kind of like crushing my channel little by little, killing me softly? Has been killing me softly since like 2 or 3 years ago? What a question, man. What a question. No, man, there's too much political bullshit oppressing people who... oppressing free speech, and different types of opinions. This is not a place anymore where you can just freely express your opinion about whatever, It's a horrible website, to be honest. But there's still good things about it. A few good things. Communities like this one, for example, it's a good thing. Videos still get appreciated. Revenue, it's still the best. It's still the best website in the world to make videos. Videos, not 1 minute long short crap like in TikTok. No, like actual videos. It's still the best platform. It still pays. But yeah, it's most of the things that I have to say about modern YouTube are really negative, unfortunately. So let's not get into that, man. Into that topic. Do you still sell games? No, I think the last game I sold was like when I was still in Canada, like 4 years ago, man. I haven't sold anything, and I still have a bunch of games that I have them twice. I have 2 copies of the same game, and I haven't sold anything. The problem is that I live far away from civilization. There's just... I don't have a car, so it's almost impossible to post things online and meet with someone, to sell. It's not profitable for me, at the very least. I will have to pay Ubers. So the bus stop is far away from where I live, so yeah. In some things, it was a pretty bad decision moving here. No, I don't think Omas... That wasn't a troll question. He was probably referring to the technical aspects of the website. Like the feature. He asked something about features, right, Omas? But yeah, man, asking me about this website... Come on. Don't do that. I already talked about Visions of Mana. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not that excited for it, but I'm looking forward to it. Are you interested in Rise of the Ronin? Nope. Do you know what happened to Benny Blood and Arm Fantasia development? Nothing, they're still in development. We might not hear anything until next year. They said it was going to take them both games at least 3 years to develop, right? So I don't think we'll hear anything this year. Although I did hear that Penny Blood was going to get some kind of spin-off, some kind of roguelike. Kind of like what the Yuden Chronicle did last year with the Yuden Chronicle Rising. Remember that? That action RPG, a little action RPG. So I think Penny Blood is going to do the same, release some kind of spin-off to hype players up. And that's it, But I don't think we're going to hear anything, But they're still being developed. The studios are working on those games, man. No need to be worried or concerned. We're not going to hear anything until next year, probably. Can you drive, though, Eric, or just no car? Both. I can't drive. Ever given Honkai Star Rail a chance? Nope. I see it there all the time in the PlayStation 5 store, alongside with Genshin Impact. I don't care for free-to-play games, people. I just don't. What is the JRPG you're most hyped for? You mean this year? Obviously, Eiyuden Chronicle, and then Trails Through Daybreak, and then East 10, and then Stellar Blade, and we could go on. But my biggest hype is Eiyuden Chronicle. Can you imagine a Super Robot Wars style Transformers game? Isn't that the same already? All the Super Robot Wars games are about giant machines, like they already exist, and it's Super Robot. Is that a question within a question? I find your question very confusing. My issue with the PS5 is that it easily runs out of storage. Yeah, I agree. Do you play your PS4 games on it? Yes. I haven't touched my PS4 in like 6 months. I play everything on PS5 now. Can we drive a campaign for a new Breath of Fire game? We could do that, sure. I don't think Capcom will give a fuck. But yeah, we could do that. Why not? Yeah, I was talking about both the cultural and technical features of YouTube. Cultural, I think you already know how I feel about it. It's fucked up here. Technical features, that's an interesting question, right? I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of good and bad things, but they aren't that important to me personally. I think the chat support, for example, is terrible. Freaking terrible. But the fact that it's there, it's a good thing. Like, it's there, and it's instantaneous. It's not like the other websites where you need to send an email and wait 1, 2, 3 days until you get a reply. Right, so chat is there. So in technical stuff, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. I guess one of the worst things about this website nowadays is the algorithm and how it fucks you up for releasing a video that's unsuccessful. I mean, some videos are just not meant to get a lot of views, like my podcasts, for example, or like my streams. Why does YouTube let that affect my regular videos? That shouldn't happen, man. And that's completely fucked up. So, but the way they pay you, the revenue, well, it's kind of not transparent whatsoever. There's a lot of corruption in there. They steal a lot of money. But the way they have everything set up, the interface of paying you and transferring your monthly revenue to your bank account, that's awesome. That's fucking awesome, man. I hope that never changes. So yeah, there's still a lot of good things about the website, technically speaking, but even on technical stuff, you know, it's still more negative than positive, unfortunately. How about a campaign of what? Of a 4th Golden Sun? You guys go ahead and do that. I'm not really a fan of Golden Sun, but I will play a Golden Sun 4. Breath of Fire was actually in a recent Capcom survey. It was even specifically mentioned. And what happened? What was the result of the survey? Any news of the YouTube plague? Yeah, it's on its way. Probably arriving in a couple of days. They sent it already. Through UPS. I fucking hate UPS, but that's 10 times better than the regular government postal service. The Mexican postal service is the absolute worst by far. So UPS, I'm fine with it. They sent it last week. I'm getting in a couple of days. In fact, let me check it out right now. I want to know if it's due to arrive tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's check it out, right? Oh, man. Yeah, here it is. What I don't like about UPS is that they send these long-ass numbers. Freaking codes, man, freaking guides. Jesus Christ, I mean, let's see. Yep, arriving in a couple of days. Next Tuesday. In 2 days. There we go. Can't wait for Astral Chain 2. I think that's a trick question to make me react. I haven't heard anything about Astral Chain 2, but if it ever gets developed, you bet your ass I'll play it. Any plans to make another Hidden Gems video for one of the current console? Maybe PS5. What's your opinion on Dragon Quest XI? Did you play it all the way to the end? No spoilers, please, if possible. I did play it. I played all the way till the end, and the post game, and the true final boss, and I couldn't defeat it. It's the best Dragon Quest game in my opinion, man. Play it. Though I'm just paying attention to the poll right now. 199 votes. One more. Yeah. No won the poll. 56%. It's pretty divisive. Yeah, so I guess a little bit more than half of the gamers don't have a PS5. The same poll is on my community section. If you want to vote there again, be my guest. Right? There it is. 201 votes. No, 56. Yes, 43. Interesting. I thought for sure it's gonna be more on the yes, 60, no, 40. But wow. Well, it's just 200 votes. We'll see how the community section votes. When I posted an hour later, after I posted the poll on my community section, it already had like 800 votes. So we'll see. It does have games. It does have games, guys. Stellar Blade says hello. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth says hello. Exclusives on the PS5. But yeah, not too many exclusives yet. Which art designer are your top favorites? Okay. My top favorites. Honorable mention Akira Toriyama, of course. Rest in peace. But my favorite artists, I think George Kamitani from Vanillaware will probably be... I'm not sure if it's gonna be number 1, but it's up there. Definitely top 3. Oh, absolutely. I just fucking love the artist of the Fire Emblem games on the Game Boy Advance, man. Really like the pixel art there. Really like the character portraits into the colors, the design. I really like it. I keep forgetting the name of the guy, who the artist of those games. But that's up there too. What else is there? Damn. I think the artist in Octopath Traveler just looks freaking beautiful. Or the artist in Gem Drops. I know they use the same graphic engine, the HD 2D graphic engine, but Star Ocean The Second Story R. Oh my god, one of the most gorgeous games I've seen in my life. The art in there, the pixel art, oh my god, such a beautiful game. Yeah, Kazuma Kaneko, I'm a big fan too. From the SMT and Persona series. Not the biggest fan, but I'm a big fan nonetheless. Love that guy, love its style. Oh man, so many good ones. But those are some of my favorites. Has Square said anything about Dragon Quest Builders 3? No, I don't know. Dragon Quest 8 on PS2 is one of my all-time favorites. That's awesome, that's a great game. I never beat it. There are some countries that have limited quantities of the PS5. Instead of getting an original PS5, they got now the PS5 Slim. Okay. Seems like Rebirth will be the second PS5 exclusive apart from Final Fantasy 16 alone. Huh. Do you have any favorite character designer? I just answered that question. We need a Chrono Cross remake. Do we? I think it's best if we get a Chrono Trigger remake first. My opinion. If you ever had the chance to make an RPG, what kind of RPG would it be? And what kind of combat would it have? I made a video about that, check it out. It's called What My Dream RPG Will Be Like. Or something about that, you know. It's hard to find because it didn't get views. Right? But it's there, it's up there if you can find it. And it's all there. But really quickly, Gothic, politically incorrect, and possibly grid-based strategy. I just bought Soul Hackers 2 for 8.5 euros brand new. Yeah, it's dirt cheap nowadays. I also bought I got a review code when it came out, but I didn't buy it until last year on the PlayStation 5. And I think I paid the equivalent of, what was it, like $20 US? Probably a little bit less than that, $18 US, which will be like 15 euros, brand new on PS5. So yeah, good purchase, man. That's a good game. Hope you enjoy it. Goat Simulator needs an RPG version. Amen. I completely agree. I love that fucking stupid game, man. Since we know that RPGs are your favorite genre, which is the gaming genre that you like the least, or that you even hate? I don't hate a single genre, but I don't like free-to-play games, even though it's not really a genre. Gacha games, stuff like that, I don't like them. But in terms of just genres, the ones that I like the least are first-person shooters and sports games. Those two. I don't hate them, but I don't like them. I only like one sports game, and that is International Superstar Soccer Deluxe on the Super Nintendo. I love that fucking game. Soccer game. That's the only sports games I like. Maybe Skate or Die on the... that's not really a sport. Is it considered as a sports game? Skate or Die on the NES? Yeah, I know it's a bad game. I like it. It was my childhood. Anyway, and first-person shooters, no, not a single one. I don't like a single one of those. You know what video game will make a good anime? Ashura's Wrath. Probably. What do you think about the 75 Vengeance? Talked about it a few streams ago. Not really interested on it. Landon Quest, a gothic politically incorrect turn-based strategy RPG. That's a long-ass title, man. There is a Goat Simulator MMORPG. Fucking hell, really? Between SMT and Xeno, which one of the two has the better philosophical themes? That's a really interesting question. I think Shin Megami Tensei, because the Xenoblade games focus a little bit more on different things, like the world building, for example, or the lore, and you don't see the characters struggling philosophically or emotionally speaking until the third game. First two, it's not really a major focus of the game. 3 has a major focus on that, though. But yeah, SMT is just one of the kings of that topic, man. Of philosophical and themes like that, you know, it's just better. So, yeah, that answers your question, right? Shin Megami Tensei. But Xenoblade is up there, it's a close second. I'm playing Tales of Innocence right now. Have you played it? No, I played the original on the Nintendo DS, fan translated too. I liked it. I never finished it. It was just too repetitive and hard. I think it's one of the worst Tales games I've played, but it's still good. I still think it's a good game, and I do recommend it. I haven't played R. I know it's on the Vita, and I want to play it there, so the game can redeem itself to me, because on the Nintendo DS it kind of let me down. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's fully fan translated, and I want to play it. Is that PS3 Reload Collector's Edition? Yeah, the same one that I unboxed a couple of weeks ago. Was it a couple of streams ago? Yeah, I did an unboxing live of it. You can find it on my second channel. But yep, that's the Collector's Edition. It was a gift from a fan. Played Tales of the World of Reeve Unicia on 3DS. That's fan translated, right? Well, maybe one day. Have you ever tried speedrunning away any strategy RPGs? Kind of tried when I streamed Redemption Reapers, but it didn't work. No, I don't like speedrunning anything, actually. I could easily stream speedrun Chrono Cross, you know, but I don't know, man. I don't really like speedrunning anything. Erick RPG game final boss will be YouTube algorithm? Nah, that would be like a major boss with a huge difficulty spike boss, Matador style, right? I think the final boss will be probably, I don't know, the extreme left impersonated. First, I will fight the far right, extreme far right, political impersonated, and then the extreme left as a final boss. Will you review Black Myth Wukong if it ever comes out? I'm not sure. If I get my hands on it, probably I'll talk about it. Have you tried to kill all bosses on Lufia the Legend Returns? Including bosses where it is okay to lose to? No, I haven't even finished that game. So no. It's a good game though. How is Fire Emblem Engage so far? Haven't played it, haven't touched it since I streamed it. I'm playing Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth right now, and I'm sticking to it. Apart from that, I played the Stellar Blade demo, the Euden Chronicle beta demo for reviewers, the Sandland demo, Grandia HD Collection 1 and 2 recently, just the first couple of hours. I played, what else? Sword Art Online, Last Recollection, the demo. I mean, it was pretty good. It wasn't like wow, but it was pretty good. The combat was pretty good in that game. And that's it. I haven't gone back to Fire Emblem Engage since then. Do you finish most of the RPGs you play? Of course. It's mandatory. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I will still say yes. I finished most of them, yes. Future Redeemed needs to have a physical release. Oh yeah, please. Torna had a physical release. Why not that one, right? What's your opinion on the GAT? I mean, Stellar Blade demo? GAT? What's that? What does that stand for? I already talked about Stellar Blade, man. You missed it. Do you think Stellar Blade will get positive reviews? Probably, although there's gonna be a lot of angry wokies trashing it, of course. Which is fucking stupid. I mean, why will they trash a game like that when almost every single Korean or Japanese RPG in existence has sexualized female characters? Why focus their attention on just that game? Wokies, smartest people on the planet, make a whole of fucking sense, man. As always. Do you play fighting games? Yes, I do. I do play fighting games, man. That's probably my second favorite video game genre of all time. Big fan of fighting games. I want the far right as protagonists? Nah, come on, man. My game will be pretty much Erick Landon against all types of politics. Erick Landon the Anarchist. Anarchist edition. That will be me. I hate both, man. Right, left. Jesus Christ. Nier Automata versus Stellar Blade poll. Let's wait till the game comes out. No point in judging a game that's been out for 7 years versus a demo. GAT, good round booty. Oh, that's the meaning of GAT? I didn't know that. You learn something every day. Euden Chronicles demo is for backers too. Yeah, I mentioned that. I mentioned that before. So did you play it? Skycatcher? Do you think the combat in Stellar Blade is as good as the Nier combat? It's just very different, man. It's very different combat. Nier is hack and slash, fast-paced, not too technical, barely technical actually. It's more of a button masher. And this is the exact opposite, man. It's very different combat mechanics in both games. You should make this game, man. I have no patience when it comes to developing games. Zero talent, zero patience, zero discipline. I can't do that, man. I can write the script for it, but I can't make a video game. Erick Landon versus the world? Nah. There's a lot of people are like me who hate politics, man. I'm not alone, I know that. Cool, do you see Fatal Fury? Did you see Fatal Fury? COTW? I have no idea what that is. I know Fatal Fury, not that thing. Is that an upcoming game or a new game? Fighting game based on Fatal Fury? Who doesn't know Fatal Fury? And the art of fighting. And therefore King of Fighters. Any JRPG guilty pleasure? Yeah, the Atelier series. Yeah, because they're supposed to be like very light-hearted, girly, and shiny, and colorful, and whatnot. And what can I say? I enjoy them. I'm not the biggest Atelier fan, that's for sure, but I love them. I love the Atelier series. I'm a fan. I can't think of a better guilty JRPG pleasure than that. The Atelier, whatever it is pronounced. What were some of your favorite chat websites before we had Reddit and Quora? Oh man, I'm 38 years old. Imagine, I pretty much grew up with chat rooms. I was there when the first public chat ever created existed. It was called, in Latin America, it was called elchat.com. I was there, that was the first chat ever. in existence. I was there. I'm that old. Yeah. Latin chat, I remember that. Yeah. We had Messenger, which was awesome, but that was a private network, private service. You needed to add people like in Facebook, you know. Yeah, but I was there. I was there. I remember. I was there. You know, even Stellar Blade, even without the sexualization, I think it would still be a good game. But it wouldn't have that much appeal, that's for sure. Do you think the Spyro and Crash should be in the next Smash Bros. Game? First and foremost, I couldn't care less about Super Smash. I'm not a fan. I only have these amiibos because they were a gift. But I don't care about Smash. I don't like it, so... Yeah, my answer is yes. They should be. I heard that Atelier Ryza will release an anime series. Oh, wow, really? It was that successful to merit an anime series? Well, interesting. What JRPG trope do you hate the most, and what tropes do you love? The JRPG tropes that I hate the most, I made an entire video about that several years ago, I think like 6 years ago, called The Worst JRPG Clichés, Top 10 Worst JRPG Clichés, which is pretty much tropes. But the tropes that I hate the most in terms of characters are like the little kids, the lollies, man. The little kid saving the world, man. I'm tired of that trope. I still like the power of friendship, just not seen in like 14, 15-year-old kids. It's overdone, and I think it needs to be... We need more JRPGs that are like with adult protagonists instead of that. Yeah. Tropes that I hate in JRPGs, man. Check that out. Check that video out. What are your favorite fighting games? Obviously the Persona 5 Arena games, Persona 4 Arena 1 and 2. Most of the BlazBlue games. I'm a big fan of Guilty Gear 2. Not all of their games, but some of them. Axel Core. Big fan of that one. What else? The Super Nintendo games, fighting games, were a blast. I grew up with those. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. That's one of my all-time favorite fighting games ever. Fucking love the heck out of that game, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. Yeah, what else? I like Aquapazza. I like Fighting Climax. Dengeki Bunko, Fighting Climax. I think we listened to the song a while ago. I like Blade Strangers. Really like that one. Yeah, definitely. I kind of like some Dead or Alive games for plot reasons. But yeah, we could go on. Killer Instinct, I'm not the biggest fan. I like it because of the edginess and the blood and stuff like that and the music. Oh man, the music. But for some reason I can't really get easily into the gameplay. But I like Killer Instinct, I mean, why not? Bloody Roar, not the biggest fan, I'll be honest. But I like them too. They're pretty sexy. Yeah. Anyway. I'm not interested in Metaphor ReFantasio. Not interested. We need a grandpa protagonist. Really? Maybe? I remember this anime series called Inuyashiki Last Hero, and the protagonist is this old man. And that's an incredible anime, man. I love that anime. So imagine a JRPG like that. If we ever get a JRPG with an old person as a protagonist, wow, it will have to be like a really interesting character, or get into like really intense situations. I don't know, man. Thanks, Yum. You and your questions, man. Do you cook in your place? Yes, I do. Order takeout? Rarely, but I still do that, yeah. I do both, but I mostly cook myself. I'm getting old, man. If I don't start taking care of my health and my eating habits right now, I'm gonna end up just like my mom. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that. Wish we will get a Xenosaga Trilogy remaster here in the States. Wow! It's been like months! since anybody mentioned in my Q&As the Xenosaga Remaster. You brought the topic back, man. It used to be like every stream at least one person will mention that. Yeah, I want that too. Why are you not interested in ReFantasio? Several reasons. I don't want to talk about that here on YouTube. How much did you have to shell out for a PS2 when it was new? When I bought my PS2, I had back then I got my PlayStation 2 in 2007. Wow. Holy shit. It's been that long, huh? 17 years. Holy shit. Yeah. So I got it back then. I paid like 1,700 Mexican pesos. It was hacked, and I got 10 games, pirated copies, for free with it. So that's, I don't remember how much money in terms of US dollars was back then. Probably around $100, maybe less. Can't remember how much was the dollar in Mexican pesos 17 years ago. So I think it's impossible for me to answer that question, man. Do you want Persona 2 Remake as Persona 3 5? Yes. Yes, please. Please, Atlus, please. Please. Fucking please. I do. Oh no! Eric is a ReFantasio hater for real! Oh my god! I don't care about it because it looks woke as fuck. Isn't it obvious? And Atlus just keeps disappointing me. Just keeps politicizing everything, man. Why are you surprised that I'm not interested in that game? Shouldn't be a surprise. What? There's a game called Bad Asses? What? I gotta check that out, man. Bad Asses. No, man. Oh, man. No, it doesn't exist. You trolled me. That's a beat 'em up. Yeah, you fucking trolled me, man. I fell for it like an idiot. Do you like Jak and Daxter games? I played one of them on the PSP. It's good. It's a good game, though I'm not the biggest fan of 3D platformers because I'm just naturally bad at them. I love 2D platformers though. A lot of them, but 3D platformers, I couldn't even come up with a top 3. Not really a big fan of 3D platformers. I'm pretty lame at them. Were you a fan of Air Gaze? I have the game. I like the fighting game, but I'm not. Once again, I'm not the biggest fan of 3D fighters either. And that's a 3D fighting game, and I couldn't really get into it. But I liked what I played. It was fun playing with Tifa and Cloud, Sephiroth. You know, they were playable characters. But the story mode was kind of like bare bones. I felt like I was playing Fighting Force. Anybody remember Fighting Force? What can I say, man? I couldn't get into the story mode of Guys. It was just kind of mediocre. But the fighting part, it was fun. But I think playing it right now will be like, I think it aged poorly. They should do another game like that, you know? Just for fun. Persona 3 Reload, you should check out my podcast, man. Do you think you'll watch the upcoming Final Fantasy IX anime? Probably, yeah. In Falcom we trust. Until they become a AAA studio like Atlus and Square Enix. But yeah, we can trust them for now. What do you think about anime? You know what? Falcom has done some woke stuff in the past, but it wasn't really woke. It was just natural. It was just, they created these characters just for the sake of creating these characters, not to send a political message or to favor the minorities, or with a hidden agenda. No. And I think that's what Atlus and Square Enix are doing nowadays with their games. It's just hypocritical, fake as fuck, and just plain pathetic, to be honest. It wasn't like this back in the day. What do you think about anime arena fighter games like Naruto Storm, Dragon Ball Tenkaichi? Not really a fan of those either. Yeah, not really. I'm a fan. The fighting games I like are like 2D and regular fighting games. Like the franchises that I mentioned. Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, the King of Fighters, the old Street Fighter games, the old Mortal Kombat games. Although I played Mortal Kombat 11 recently, and I had a blast. Really good game. Not my favorite, but I liked it. So those are the types of fighters that I like. Arena games, okay, like Super Smash Bros, stuff like that. I'm not really a fan. Tales of Eternia remake? Yes, please. In HD 2D graphics, please, Bandai Namco. Who do I have to pay? Who do I have to kill to get that? The first 3 Tales games remade with an HD 2D graphic style. Who? Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? The actual board game? Yes, when I was little. I used to like the enemy design a lot. I used to stare at the cards and I was like, oh man, this character, this monster looks really good. Man, that's awesome. I was a little kid, I haven't touched any board game from Dungeons and Dragons in decades. Anime is in danger. Japan is seriously thinking of banning it in Japan. Where did you hear that? Anime is one of the most profitable businesses in Japan. No, but it's getting there, LTB. It's getting there. Slowly getting there. Have you seen the trailer for Persona 3 Reload DLC? It's The Answer. I played The Answer many years ago on the FES version. I'm a big fan of it. I'm not really excited for it because I think that's nasty. They should have released this version with The Answer included and not make you pay for it several months later as a DLC. I think that's bullshit. But The Answer itself is a wonderful game. It's Persona 3 again with Aegis, but without the simulation. But the story in The Answer, man, oh man, that's an awesome game. In Intelligent Systems we trust. You trust Fire Emblem Engage? After what they did with Fire Emblem Engage, you trust them? Or Fates? I don't trust them, man. Valkyria Chronicles is definitely a game everyone should play. That's a masterpiece, my man. Really good. Sweet Baby Ink Disaster. Someone mentioned that in the stream 2 streams ago. I forget what that is, man. I don't know what that is. Sweet Baby Ink Disaster. I have no fucking clue what that is. I think you may have bad information about what? About The Answer, or about the baby ink whatever. The Ultimate Edition of Persona 3 Reload is over $100, and you still need to pay for The Answer. This is the Ultimate Edition, or is there another one? This is the Aegis Edition. Sweet Baby Ink is a world publisher. Okay, and what was the controversy or the disaster? What happened? Hey, Josh. You want a remake for Valkyrie Profile 2? I don't know. I think just a port, just a remaster. The game's freaking beautiful. It's perfect. It does not need a remake. Just a pretty HD remaster. That's all I ask. Do you think we'll see more JRPGs from Sony in the future? Wow, like first party? For some reason, I don't think so. We haven't seen anything in years, or barely anything. Sony used to have a couple of subsidiaries, like Mediavision was one such subsidiary, developer of Wild Arms. And then there was the Gaia Games, Dark Cloud, but they were developed by different studios, right? Like a first party Sony developed by them, I don't think so. I mean, what else is there? The Legion of Dragoon? I don't know. Shadows of Valentia is a great game. Audrey Hey Audrey, you sound kinda new to this channel. I'm a massive Fire Emblem fan. I just have a problem with Fates and Engage. That's it, everything else is great. I love them, I'm a big fan of everything else. Well, maybe Awakening, I may have a bit of a love-hate relationship with it. But, yeah, I'm a big fan of Shadows of Valentia, man. Sorry, girl. I'm used to saying man. Like, dude. The controversy was a mass report campaign against a Steam creator group. Okay. I was talking about the anime stuff Gaming G was talking about. What anime stuff? I'm confused now, I'm lost. If I missed something, if I missed your questions, ask them again. Or much better, make a donation! I would like a port of Drakengard 2. I've talked about this before. I think the Drakengard games, all of them should be remade because they were a massive fuck up in several areas. They're great, they're good games, all of them, especially 3. But I think technically speaking, they could use some real work, some rehashing. Drakengard 1, imagine Drakengard 1 getting a remaster. It's just not gonna work. Okay, they need to redo the combat, in my opinion, of course. I know there are fans of that game and they think the combat is awesome. Good for you. I think it's a terrible battle system. Terrible controls, terrible camera. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's not that bad, but it's bad. Okay, so I think Drakengard 1 remade. Imagine Drakengard 1 remade by Platinum Games. Right? Am I right or what? Drakengard 2, same. Drakengard 3, same. Leave the story intact, the characters, the blood, the political incorrectness. Leave everything intact. Just let Platinum Games rework the battle mechanics. Perfection. Right there. Thank you, Yum Yum. Confused, hungry. Because you are drinking your water. I drink my water because I keep talking over and over again. So it's like to refresh my throat. I'm not really hungry right now. Valkyrie Profile Covenant hits you hard, man. In terms of difficulty, yes it does. Brutal fucking game. I never got to the post-game dungeon in Ys 8. I don't know, man, I can't help you there. I never got to the post-game dungeon in there. Where is it? Hey guys, can you answer something for me? I know I can Google it right now, but does this game have any post-game dungeon? I think I remember seeing a door that I couldn't open at the very end of the game, at the very last floors of Tartarus, and I forgot about it and I beat the game and I overwrote my file. I can't go back. So it's over, right? But did they add a special dungeon for this game? There was nothing of the sort in the original games. Original versions, so I don't know. Can you answer that for me? Platinum Games is basically dead. Why is it basically dead? What happened? Platinum Games is overrated for real? Well, there are other companies that can do remaster. Facepalm moment? Why? What's going on here? Thank you, DJ No Good. Did you ever play Def Jam Fight for New York? PS2? No, I heard it's a rare game. I remember back when I had the store, I got it without a manual, scratched, and I still sold it for like $20 back then. I think it's a bit of a rare game. I haven't played it. Not my type of jam, you know. Not my type of Def Jam, not my type of jam. So, but I heard it's a really good game. Maybe one day I'll play it. There's a Def Jam on PS3? I don't think so. You can fight Elizabeth in that door, hardest boss in the game. Oh, that was in the original. So there's no like secret super dungeon in Persona 3 Reload? Facepalm moment. Yeah, Elizabeth has been fightable since the FES version. I don't even remember if you could fight her in the original version. The very first version of Persona 3, I don't remember. But you could fight her in the FES version. I never did because she's just ridiculous. But even though she's my second favorite character in Persona. My favorite Aegis, then Elizabeth, and then Mitsuru. That's my top 3. What do you think? What do you think is bad about Final Fantasy X? Tidus. Didn't you ask that question a few streams ago? And I said the same thing, Tidus. Tidus is everything wrong with Final Fantasy X. Thank you, Mosa. Mosa Nabil. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. As long as you never play the Fight Club game. I've heard it's a really bad game, the Fight Club game. I haven't played it. What do you think about Fire Emblem Awakening? Oh yeah, I think like I told you before, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think in terms of gameplay mechanics, it's excellent. Nothing to say there. It's just the story kind of went into a different direction. Try to mix science fiction. The fact that you go out and recruit your kids after they're grown up in an alternative universe. That's, I mean, what the hell? I mean, if Fire Emblem had been a science fiction alternative timeline structure story since the beginning, I wouldn't complain. But play every single other Fire Emblem game in existence before that game, and it's like, the fuck is this, right? And even without that, I don't think the dialogue is that interesting, to be honest. There's a lot of anime tropes. The characters are very stereotyped. There's a lot of great characters in there too, like Tharja. It's one of my favorite. Henry, I love Henry, man. One of my favorite characters in the game. But half of the cast in Awakening is kind of like boring, like JRPG classic trope. So that's my problem with Awakening. But in terms of gameplay, I think it's a really good game. Persona 3 Reload has a secret dungeon. Oh, just Elizabeth. Yeah, they said it already. So it's not a dungeon, it's just Elizabeth. Okay. Whatever. I overwrote my file when I finished it. My clear save data. And it's over. I won't be able to go back to it unless I start a new playthrough. Just imagine if Platinum Games partnered with Shift Up for Stellar Blade. The combat would have been even better, I think. Someone said something about Platinum Games tried to switch to games as a service games, and it did not go well. I don't think they're dead. They'll pick up. Okay, so Unicorn Overlord versus Fire Emblem. Pick one. Which Fire Emblem? Which you're making me compare just one game against an entire franchise? Fire Emblem wins easily. You're gonna have to be more specific. Which Fire Emblem? Fates is a great example of a fun dumpster fire. Yeah, you know, the story's garbage, like most of the characters, but the gameplay is still cool in Fates. I like the gameplay. Yeah, Unicorn Overlord is more like Ogre Battle. It has influence from both franchises, Ogre Battle and Fire Emblem. But yeah, gameplay-wise, it's more like Ogre Battle, more like Grow Lancer, stuff like that. Platinum Games has had a huge shake-up. A lot of the top dogs left, and they haven't shipped a good game in years except Bayonetta 3, which had huge help by Nintendo. It seems like I'm not really up to date with the company. I was a big fan from the year 2021, from Nier Replicant, and before that, and below that. I don't know what they've done after that, to be honest. Engage. Fire Emblem Engage versus Unicorn Overlord. Oof, Unicorn Overlord, man, by far. And I haven't even finished Engage. I just played it for 2 hours, and that was more than enough for me to say that Unicorn Overlord is the better game. Awakening versus Overlord. Overlord. Yeah, Awakening is a great game, but Overlord. Definitely. Who wins in a street fight? 13 from FF7 versus Vivi from FF9. Who the hell is 13? Isn't that the guy that you fight in the first game? In a solo fight? Cloud versus that guy? I don't even know who's 13, man. Is that guy? Ah, Red 13. Okay. Okay. Well, I think red will win because Vivi needs time to cast. And who's going to protect Vivi from the danger? Red is an animal. He's a fast character. He will take him out in an instant. Probably. Exactly, man. Unicorn Overlord starts off kind of generic, but then he starts getting better and better and better with the dramas and the politics. Yeah. Great game, right? I mean, it's just Fire Emblem Engage should have been a mobile game, man. A fan service spin-off. Have you had a how did I survive that attack after a boss nukes your party? Yeah. But you know what happens more often with me? The enemies survive my attacks. Like I leave them, I do this massive attack and they are left with 1 or 2 HP. I was playing Grandia 2 last night. And that happened, man. That fucking happened. Like I was in great need for Ryudo to finish off the enemy, and performs a special attack, leaves the enemy with 2 HP. Yeah. Will you see a new Tales game? Will we see a new Tales of game announcement soon? Like a mainline Tales game? I don't think so. Probably next year. I don't think we'll get anything this year. Hopefully we'll get some kind of announcement for a remake or a remaster of any of the old games. Yeah, I know. I sound like a broken record, I know, but I really want those first games remade. Nihon Falcom is honestly one of the leaders paving the way for modern JRPGs. I just hope they don't get too famous, man, or else, you know, the new politics are going to start menacing them and threatening them. Hey, Zell. Since a unit is coming now in April, is there a chance for more Suikoden live streams for a warm-up to it? I don't know. Good question. I never considered that. I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it. I mean, why not? If Xbox made a handheld, will you buy it? Depends on the games. You will have to have games that are exclusive to it and that I'm really interested on, right? If it doesn't, then my answer is no, I wouldn't buy it. To be completely honest, you know, they will have to have, like what the Xbox 360 did, a bunch of JRPGs exclusive to it, and that made me buy back then an Xbox 360. So they will have to do the same. Would you want to see Project Crossown 3? I'd kill to see that game come to life, man, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen because the main developers of the first 2 games quit the company, Monolith Soft, and they're gone. I don't think we will ever see Project Crossown 3, but I hope they prove me wrong. Do you like Yakuza Infinite Wealth so far? I am loving it, guys, but there's one big problem with the game. Okay, get ready. The game spoils the fuck out of you. The game spoils the entire Yakuza series. The entirety of it. Not just the first Like a Dragon. The previous game. No, it spoils everything to you. So get ready. It's like the Trails games. The Yakuza series are like the Trails games. It's every entry kind of forces you more and more to forget about them and start from the beginning, from the first one. Infinite Wealth, fair warning, it spoils a crap ton of things about the first Yakuza games. And obviously about Like a Dragon, the first one. That's my biggest gripe so far with Infinite Wealth. Other than that, the game's freaking amazing. I'm loving it. But I do have a lot to say about it, so it will be reviewed in one way or another in the future. I somehow survived Duke's Mystic Arte with just Yuri standing and got straight to work. Oh, you know what happened to me now that you mentioned that? The first time I beat Suikoden 2, I remember the final boss did this massive area of effect attack and everybody died except for Flick. And then I just did a random attack because I had no more points or magic points or skill points. I couldn't use any rune magic anymore. And I just did a regular attack with Flick. And he had like, I don't know, 10 HP. And I beat the boss. I'll never forget that. Thanks for making me remember that. That was awesome, man. I'll never forget that. Oh my god. That was like that moment, man. The final boss. I was about to die. You know, everybody died and Flick just slashed the boss and you beat the game. I beat the game. Yeah, man. That was an amazing experience now that I think about it. That was awesome. That's awesome, man. I clearly remember that moment. I don't know why. I mean, I think I remember something else. There's gotta be something else. I mean, I've been in several boss fights, of course, where there's only one character standing, you know, but that was epic because it's the final boss. There's gotta be something else. Yeah, if I really need to think about it to take a trip down memory lane in my head and remember if there's been another occasion like that. Like everybody's dead except one guy, and that one guy delivers the final blow. That's fucking awesome, man. Yeah. But I can't think of a better example right now than Suikoden 2. That was just epic, man. Epic, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, there's gotta be a million boss fights like that. Well, I miraculously survived and won, right? Is Flick now one of your favorite Suikoden characters? He's always been one of my favorite Suikoden characters, actually. But not like top 5, maybe? No, I don't think so. I think I like Victor more. I like Victor a little bit more. Has more personality than Flick. Yeah, I know that. I talked about that controversy about the New Game Plus in Infinite Wealth. They were trying to sell it to you or buy the deluxe edition. That was bullshit. Freaking bullshit, man. Anyway, last questions, guys. Last donations as well. Support this channel. And really, if you want to support the podcast, both podcasts, you know, you can go to my Patreon. I have 2 podcasts now, one public for YouTube, focusing on just one game. There's an episode entirely based on Persona 3 Reload. And there's a private podcast that I've been doing since last year. There's been like 20-something episodes so far. So link to my Patreon in the description. The podcast, the public podcast on YouTube, the That JRPG podcast, that's the name. It needs a little bit of funding, not too much, nothing insane, just a few extra bucks. And yeah, I'll be able to continue making more episodes. So if you like the podcast that I made based on Persona 3, go fund the next one on Patreon, link in the description. Or if you want to make a donation or anything, that will be great. Suikoden 2 getting a full remake a la Final Fantasy VII. No, Konami wouldn't do that. Konami can say whatever you want about Konami, they will never do that. Happy Easter, man. Xenogears versus Xenosaga versus Xenoblade. Xenogears is just one game. And as much as I love it, in terms of story, it's the best out of every single one of them. I gotta go, guys. So that's the last question. Xenogears versus Xenosaga versus Xenoblade? That's a topic of its own. Story, winner, Xenogears. Gameplay, unfortunately, Xenogears didn't age well, and I've been saying this for years. He needs a remaster or a remake like yesterday, man. But it's still cool. It has an amazing battle system. So in terms of gameplay, like exploration, moving around, you know, stuff like that, and the gameplay mechanics, there's a problem with Xenogears. The enemies level up with you. So I think in terms of that, Xenoblade is better because it's just easier to explore around without random encounters. Xenoblade has the better gameplay out of everything. Music, oh my god, no, don't make me choose. I think I'm gonna stick to Xenogears. I just love the Xenogears soundtrack, and Yasunori Mitsuda is one of my favorite composers ever. So definitely Xenogears wins in music. Story, same, like I mentioned. Now, in graphics, it's unfair because we're comparing old games to new games, so we shouldn't compare them in that. So in terms of battle system, I think I prefer the one in Xenosaga 3. I love the combo-based system in Xenogears, and Xenoblade is awesome. The battle system in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is, wow, a close second. But Xenosaga 3 had the best turn-based combat of the entire series, in my opinion. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a fantastic combat, man. I really fucking liked it, man. Man. Anyway, winner? Damn, I can't pick a winner. But I can pick a winner in different areas, right? Like story, Xenogears. Battle system. Well, it's like the 3 Xenosaga games versus the 4 Xenoblade games. I love Xenoblade, man, but I think I prefer my turn-based combat, so I'm sticking with Xenosaga, especially 3. Fuck. Anyway, so overall, I can't decide. I think the real competition would be between Xenogears, Xenosaga 3, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and that's a bitch to decide. I can't. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and take care.